What's going on, everyone? So, pretty hectic day today, honestly. I didn't feel like much really happened though. Let's all right. Let's start with this. So today we had our federal funds rate. Came out as expected, 4.5%. That's what we were expecting. A 50 basis point hike. Um, yeah. So I mean, I feel like the market kind of already priced this in prior to it, the news coming out. I know we did see some sell off on the indices, but we kind of mellowed out since. So you can see, let's go to the 1 hour. Let's find 2 o'clock. If it's 6, I mean, they didn't really do anything. I mean, it was a little bit of a sell off, but nothing like drastic. Like US 30, US 30 did sell off quite a bit. But we're pulling back up. We're retesting the zones. Let's take a look at the dollar index. Dollar index barely moved. We had a spike, but wasn't anything substantial. Nothing like this over here yesterday, these CPI numbers. But yeah, I mean, the rate hikes, they came in. I feel like the market already priced them in yesterday with CPI. Kind of new. CPI came in lower. So let's get into our Forex pairs. I'm going to do a quick run through, just kind of what I'm looking at. I am in a trade right now, so we'll go over the trade that I'm in, kind of why I took that trade, and then we'll go from there. So looking at AJ, not really seeing anything. A lot of sideways movement here. I'm going to shut the cheat code off for a little bit. Got a lot of sideways movement here. We do have some structure right around this zone. It's pretty strong. So, I mean, if price does come back down to here, there is some possibilities to take some long positions down here. Let's check out this trend that we got going on. Oh, yeah. Honestly, AJ, this is a pretty good trade here. If you can get price to come back down to this zone. Let's go with the X. Somewhere around here. Looking to take some long positions. You could do something like, let's go with a fib. Let's see how this lines up. Oh, yeah. And that's 61.8 right there. Grab a long position off this. Go fib. Stop loss somewhere down here. Go a little bit bigger. Maybe like 20 pips. Hold this trade back to the top. So what is this? 4.4? I'm not even looking at my 4-hour chart, which is what I like to be. But you could take some long positions there on AJ. For me personally, though, I'm staying out of this pair for now. Let's move to AUD USD. How about these USD pairs setting up pretty nicely? Good structure there. Price did break that. Came down, retested. So we got a 38.2 fib here, which is a pretty good zone too. So 38.2, 50, 60, 1.8. You could. It just depends on how much you want to have your stop loss, or how big you want to have your stop loss. So for me, I already know I'm going 50. I'm waiting for a 50 here. Because of this little poke down here, I'm probably going to set stops down there somewhere. I don't know why it's just not dragging. There we go. So we got 54 pip stop loss, 113 pip take profit. If we can get price to come back down here, let me delete this. It's fogging up my eyes. It's not a bad trade, but there's some better ones, and we'll get into those. CADJPY. We had a fantastic trade on this. Let me bring over the Discord actually. So for those of you who are not in the Discord, we do have a Discord that you guys can be a part of. And I did call a sell on CADJPY. Let's open this thread up. So I called a sell on CADJPY. This was yesterday at 8 in the morning, and almost instantly, I mean, it sold off. When that CPI data came out, pretty much sold off. I mean, we did get out. I got out of the trade personally, 4 pips early. Took a 147 pip take profit. As you guys can see, it did end up hitting for 151 pips. Oh, let me scoot this over. 151 pips. So it was a good trade overall. If you were to look to reposition yourself into this market, I'd need something along the lines of price coming back up here, or I'd need some new structure to be made, some break and retest of this area down here. If we did get price to come back up here, I would be looking to take a short around this 50 level. So about the same spot we entered. And we can take price back down to here. So this is about an 81 pip stop loss, 2.5 risk to reward here, 201 pip take profit. It's not a bad trade. You could take a trade somewhere around here, around this 38.2. Set your stops above the 50. Still 2.6, 157 pip take profit, 60 pip stop loss. So it's really not a bad trade overall. But I will be looking to trade this pair a little bit more since we are downtrending so hard here. All right, let's take a look at CHF-JPY. This is way too crazy for me. I do not like this price action. This is too crazy. I'm not even looking at this. Skip. Euro, same thing. Too crazy. This is a lot. This is a sideways market. Up, down, up, down. I don't like it. I'm out. EuroCAD. Okay. We could look at this. So EuroCAD been trending up for quite some time here. We do have some structure here. Some more structure here. Price did just break up above this zone. I don't know. It kind of depends here for me for this. I would like to see price come back down to here before I entered any longs, because the Canadian dollar has been so weak. That's why we sold CADJPY, because of the Canadian dollar weakness. And that's why you see EuroCAD flying here, because of the Canadian weakness. It's not really because the euro is so strong. It's more just because the Canadian dollar is so weak. So for me, I would need some pullbacks here. This is kind of a wait trade. So if price came down to here, you could take some entries. Let's draw a fib up. Let's go here to the top. Yeah, so 61.8. That 61.8 would be pretty good, and then you can have stops somewhere down in here. Take profit either back to the top or let her ride. So EuroCAD, we do have some pretty good options for a long position here. Do we have any news tomorrow for the Canadian dollar? The euro. Euro has a press conference at 8 in the morning. Dang, I'm going to get up early. Okay. So we got tomorrow CHF, GBP, USD. A lot of Euro, GBP, and USD for the rest of the week. So we shall see. You know, this could continue to fly. If it does, if we do get above here, I'll look for a retest back down into this zone. But until then, I'm not going to be looking to take a trade. Not really liking this either. Let's see. We'd have to make a pretty significant break here. I'd need a pretty significant break and retest of this in order to get into a trade here. But this isn't one of my favorite pairs either, so I'm not really looking to trade it. I know this pair also looks like maybe we might have hit stop loss here, but this was actually a really good trade too. I did take a trade on Euro NZD at the same time. Let's open up this thread. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. So I also took a trade for Euro NZD. We did have to hold this for a little bit of time, but we eventually we did end up hitting take profit for 110 pips. So if you do want to get in on these trades, you can join our Discord. We do have a free section over here, so you can see free signals, which I did call out a trade that I'm in personally right now, NZDCHF long, which we will get into that trade. But yeah, I mean, we got free community chats, we got free resources for you, over 100 entrepreneur books, how to create a trading plan. We kind of go over all our memberships in here for all you free, for everybody who's free. And then once you do get into the VIP section, you're going to get the DeFi Da Vinci cheat code. You'll get all of our call outs from me and the team. We have some chats where you guys can engage with us and we can engage with you, ask questions, things like that. We also have two auto traders. We have a Forex swing trader and a crypto swing trader that you guys can get into. So overall, I mean, we have a lot of fun in the Discord. We call a lot of trades. It's a safe place. We feel that, there's a lot of communities out there where a new trader will go and ask a question and they'll get shamed for asking the question, which is pretty stupid to me. Because I know when I first started, I wanted a place where I could go and ask any question and someone would be there to answer it for me, So if you're looking for a community like that, feel free to join our free Discord and reach out to me if you do want to get into the paid Discord. You can access it right from here. You just click on Premium Access, click on this link, and you can sign right up. You put your Discord name in, and it'll literally grant you the role and unlock all of this for you as soon as you pay for it. So if that's something you'd be interested in, feel free to join the Discord. The link's always in the bio of this YouTube video. So let's get back into it. So yeah, we did take that trade on Euro NZD. Let's get rid of all this. We are getting some pullback. So it looks like we kind of broke trend out a little bit here. I don't know. I feel like we've taken so much money out of Euro NZD these last couple of weeks that we kind of need to chill and wait for something. If I was to draw some support and resistance here, I do like this zone here, which obviously we've touched. And then obviously have here. Oops. So we'll wait and see what we get. I mean, if we get a break and retest and a shift in momentum, maybe we can start looking to take some longs. But I mean, we've been downtrending for a decent amount of time here, so we do have some opportunity to get into another short position here if we'd like. We are sitting at the 38.2. The 50 was just touched, which that would have been an ideal entry. But we'll wait and see. We will see on what is going on with this. If price does push back up into this 50, 61.8 zone, maybe I'll look to take a trade. But I kind of want to diversify myself. Already being in an NZD trade, this isn't something that I'm like all gung-ho about. I'm already in an NZD trade. So we'll see and wait. But this is an opportunity for someone who, if you are looking at Euro NZD, you can see clearly it's been in a downtrend since October, so about a month, 2 months. Actually, we just said like 2 months, yeah. So it's been downtrending for like 2 months. And we're coming back up to retest some key levels here. So we have a key level of resistance here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, 6 touches. We just got our 7th touch here. So if price does come back up into this 50 zone, you could look to take a short position here. Stops above this 61.8. Target back down here. So, I mean, this is a pretty good trade. 3-to-1, 75 pip stop loss, 239 pip take profit. This is not a bad trade for you if you are looking to get into a trade on the long side for NZD. So, yeah, let's move on. Euro USD. So, I know in the last video I talked about, I think it was the last video I talked about Euro USD. But I'm kind of salty about this because, what was I using? This maybe? I really wanted price to come back down to this 38.2. Never got it. We did just break these 2 wicks here, and we're retesting them now. So we'll see. Price could come back down tonight during the London session and give us a 38.2 or a 50 retracement. I don't see it happening too much, but we'll see. It would be something that I'd like to see. I do have somewhat of a short bias. My bias has shifted on the US dollar, and I'm not going to sit here and continually try to take shorts on this all the way up. Obviously, we're uptrending on the Euro USD, so I'm looking to enter some long positions now, this being one of them. So if price can come back down and give me a retest down here, I will be looking to enter a long position on Euro USD. Moving on to GBP CAD. This is just straight up. This is gone for me. Not much we could do here. Can you, like we've been talking about, can you just see the weakness of the Canadian dollar? Okay, so when you look at a currency pair, you have British pound and the Canadian dollar. The British pound is essentially what you're looking at versus the Canadian dollar. So the British pound is going up in Canada right now. But if we look at CADJPY, this is the Canadian dollar, so we're essentially looking at the Canadian dollar in Japan. The value of the Canadian dollar in Japan is falling. We can look at, okay, so we just were looking at GBP CAD. I mean, this is just flying. Didn't I have NZD CAD up here? Oh, Euro CAD. Yeah, and then same thing with the Euro. The Euro is just flying versus the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar is very weak right now. All right, let's get back to it. Sorry. GBP CAD. There's somewhat of an option, I guess, to take a long position here if you wanted to, but I feel like I wish I could get more price structure, right? I mean, this pair is just flying. There's really, here would have been cool if we could have, drawn up a support zone and got price to come back down, come back up, and then come back down again. That would have been great to take a long position. Up here, I guess we are starting to get that. If we take a look at this zone right here, this would be a nice zone for me. If price could come back down to this 61.8 here, that would be a good option to take a long position on GBP CAD. Maybe that's something we'll keep a lookout for. I'll mark this for myself so I know to come back to it. Yeah, maybe we'll keep a lookout out for that. I guess it also kind of depends on how tomorrow goes with the official bank rate for GBP. That's at 7 a.m. So we'll see how that goes. GJ. Let me change this color. I switched to this dark mode because my eyes have been bothering me pretty bad, staring at these white screens all the time. So all my stuff is in black. I gotta change it up. GJ. I did get into a secret long position last night on GBP JPY, but I broke even anyways, so it's not like I made any money or lost any money. But essentially what I was looking at when I was looking at GJ was we have an uptrend here. Price came back down to retest this zone here, which also so happened to be the 38.2. So I was like, hey, we'll throw stops below this 50. Price rejected off of it pretty nice right here off this candle. I entered here. Price rejected off of this candle nicely. So I moved stops to break even, went to bed, woke up. my stops were hit, so I think I made like 33 cents on the trade. So my stops got hit, and then price ended up pushing up. It is what it is. It's what happens. I probably shouldn't have taken the trade anyways. I didn't call it in the Discord because I didn't want to promote over trading, and I got in it, so it was a stupid trade for me to get into. But hey, either way, we didn't lose or win any money. Just want to be a little transparent with what I'm doing in these markets. GU. I was looking for a 50 retracement here on GU. I did not get it. We did get a rejection off of this zone. Obviously, as you can see, we had news come out. Boom. Price come back down, retest. Could have gotten an entry off of here, but I was looking for a little bit deeper of a retracement down to this 50, so I didn't get my entry. But if I do see an entry, what I would like to see is something like this happen. I would like to see price come down, hit this 50, and then push back up to the upside. Look for entries here. Obviously, as you can see, I have this set up here for myself already. Stops below the 61.8 and take price back up to the top of the zone here. This is a 55 pip stop loss for 168 pip take profit. Good 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It's generally what we're looking for in all our trades is a 3-to-1. So we'll be waiting patiently for a retracement on GBP USD. All right, now let's get into this trade I'm in. Okay, NZDCHF. The NZD has obviously been going up. You see that we were shorting the euro versus the NZD on euro NZD earlier this week. Now we are in a long position on NZDCHF, and the reason is because price had a nice push to the upside. So I drew my fib up here. We had some structure be created. The structure also so happened to be the 50% retracement for the fib, which is my ideal trade. So I took a long position at the 50 and put my stops below 61.8. Take profit right back at the top. It's 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It's not a bad trade. I honestly could have made it even smaller and put them right below the 61.8. That's what I made this a 3.35. But I did want to give myself a little bit more room just due to these wicks and price action over here. So that's why my stop was a little bit bigger at 41. But we are in profit. Let me see. I can probably show you guys. I did take this on the FTMO account. So let's log in. So I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. Why don't we just open the FTMO? Okay, so while that's opening up, we'll get back more into that trade. I want to be really transparent with this FTMO challenge that I'm doing with you guys because I feel like everybody kind of just shows the glam of always winning on a challenge account. So I want to show you what it's like to actually take losses, take wins, and all right. So here we go. We can show. This shouldn't show like my passwords or anything. Let me just close this. All right. I hope I'm not incriminating myself or someone's gonna steal my FTMO challenge. I'll be pissed. All right, let's make this big. So, what a pain. Sorry, guys. Let me do this. Make this small. Okay, cool. All right, so you can see, obviously, we have the $10,000 FTMO challenge. See, we're at $10,128. We're up about 1.28% on here. We are in this NZDCHF long. I'm up about $22 right now. So, and I dropped a 0.1 on this, which is basically a dollar pip. So I am up roughly 22 pips on this. Let me drop this. So you can see, here's my entry right here. Here's the buy. So it's a pretty good entry here. And then we got price back up here right at the top of the wick. Hoping to get some take profits going by the end of the night. We did. If I come over here to Forex Factory, we did just have GDP come out for the NZD, the GDP quarter over quarter, which actually came out very bullish for the New Zealand dollar. It was expecting a 0.8, came out at 2%. So this is really good for our trade. If you look in here, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So we were forecasted 0.8. We took a 2%, which is a 1.2 over what we were expecting. This is really good for this trade. I'm really not nervous. I might even take the take profit off of this trade and kind of just let it ride out, because the New Zealand dollars have been doing very well as we've been transitioning from a, I guess, risk. Okay, so we were in a risk-off market, and now we're kind of transitioning into a risk-on market, and the New Zealand dollar is kind of a risk-on currency. So I kind of like it right now. So we're in this New Zealand dollar trade, and we'll see how it goes. NZDJPY, kind of same situation here. The reason I took the Swiss franc trade was just because it was just a clean setup. It was clean to me. I could have taken it on NZDJPY, but we had this weird push down into here that I didn't like, and NZDUSD. It wasn't like an established set of price structure that I'd normally like, but we did get this rejection off the 50. I think this is also a good trade. Like NZDUSD right now is a good trade. Obviously, price going up. We had price structure here. We had good resistance, broken, turned to support. Now we've rejected off of it 1, 2, 3 times. This one we came back down, tested that 50 fib, which it would have been the ideal entry if you were to take a trade here. Stops below 61.8. Take profit back at the top of the zone. Good 3-to-1 risk reward ratio if you would have taken a trade off of here. Me personally, I might get in a trade on NZD USD, but probably not, because I'm already in an NZD long, so there's no point in putting all my eggs in one basket. That's kind of why I'm looking for another trade on one of these CAD pairs. Like, I'd like to see CADJPY come back up to here for me to get into another trade. But for now, NZD, this is also a good option as well to get into a trade. Let's see, USD CAD. USD CAD set up nicely for a sell here. Change this color. We had a good support zone going. Resistance, support, broke it, retested, which also happened to be the 38.2, and we did get a 50 on the wick off the news. So if you wanted to get into a trade right now, I'd say you definitely would need, that drives me nuts. You definitely would need stops maybe above this wick, and then you could look left. We've got some structure there that you could set as a target. It's about 150 pips. This is a 2.2 to 1 risk reward ratio. This isn't a terrible trade. USD CAD, I do like this setup, but it's just not my setup. You know, I need, for me, a 50%. I missed that trade right here. I missed that trade. So I'm out. I would need that 50% to get into this trade. But just to kind of show you guys, this is a trade setup that you could take. USDCHF. I mean, this has just been falling. The US dollar weakness has just been quite substantial over the last couple of weeks. Let's take a look here. We have some bit of a zone here. What? Okay, I have a question for a lot of people. So I get talked to a lot about my trading strategy being very simple. And it is. I made it very simple because I don't want to sit here and have to, like, examine these markets like crazy. Like, I can go through all of these pairs, look for support and resistance. Generally, I have my cheat code on, which also helps me find trades. It's very simple for myself. But a lot of people say that smart money is the only way to trade these smart money concepts. And for me, right, this would be a liquidity zone, wouldn't it? If you're a smart money trader and you're watching this, let me know, is this a liquidity zone right there? Is that what you would consider it? And so what? You would want to take your entry here, which I'm not mad about. I think that's actually a pretty good trade. If we draw fibs from here, that also gives us the 50. So yeah, if I can get a retracement back up to this 50 zone right here, I would like to take this trade. But, I mean, we're just following, so we kind of need some structure to be made. USD JPY. Almost the same thing as USD CAD here. We had a little bit of structure here. Price did come down, break up, retested. We rejected off of it. We did come up to test again, and as you can see, we're kind of rejecting again. So I guess if you wanted to take a trade, could look at something like this. Let ride price out down to the bottom here. But I would personally like to see even more. This price break this and kind of do something like this. A retest to here and then sell off from there. And then last pair, Euro JPY. I don't really like the way that looks. That's a lot of thing. That's a big thing too. If you look at a pair and you sit there and you're like, I don't like the way this looks, don't try to over-examine the chart. When you sit there and try to look at all these pairs we just got to go through, I got what? One. GBP CAD, we got an option here. Euro NZD, here's another option. CADJPY. Right? I'm looking for the absolute best trades. I'm not for my strategy as well. They're not the absolute best trades. Obviously, we have the opportunity where we can lose the trade. But for me personally, I'm looking for the best trades for me. Right? I've developed this strategy. I spent the last 7 years developing this strategy. This is what I like. This is what I look for every single day in these markets. So I'm going to wait for those to happen. And I do this every day. I just go through. I look at my pairs, I wait for the market to set up, and then I enter the trades. So, like I said, you guys, we call these trades out that we're taking in the Discord. If you want to be a part of that, go ahead and enter. The links will be down in the bio. And yeah. Be careful. We have a lot more news coming out the rest of the week. We're kind of over the hill of that big part, that CPI for USD and the federal funds rate. We've kind of gone over that hill, but let's take a look at what we got going on tomorrow. So tomorrow we got the Swiss franc policy rate. This is the same thing. They're expecting a 0.5 hike. Their previous was 0.5%, and they're expecting to go back up to 1 for the Swiss franc. So I might have to move this stop loss on this NZDCHF trade to break even. What time is that? 3:30 in the morning. I might wait a little bit to see if we can get some push because I do want to let this New Zealand dollar GDP news play out in my trade. But I might have to switch that to move that to break even because because like I said, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. If we get the forecast, if we get 1%, cool. It might not do too much, but if they go over 1%, you never know. Price could really turn around for this right here. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, we have the interest rates for the Great British Pound tomorrow. Same thing. They're expecting a 50% or 0.5. So we have Euro. I guess just be careful if you're a Forex trader for Swiss franc, Great British Pound, the Euro. More news for the US dollar tomorrow, retail sales. And then when we move into Friday, we have the Euro PMI, Great British Pound PMI, and the US dollar PMI. So be careful trading the rest of the week. Like I said, we did kind of get over the hill for the US dollar, but we have a lot more news to come for all of the other currencies. So enjoy yourselves, be safe, develop a risk management plan because I see that happen a lot where a lot of traders are not developing a risk management plan, and it shows. We want long-term growth here, not short-term growth. I'm John. Peace out.